Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Khalid Hijris, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. A number of students from the Arabian Gulf University recently took part at Oxford University's Clinical Translation and Commercialization of Nanomedicine course as part of the constant cooperation between the two universities in the field of developing medical student skills and exchange expertise in different areas of scientific knowledge. To talk more about their experience and its outcomes, we are pleased to be joined here in the studio by the participants of the Oxford University's Clinical Translation and Commercialization of Nanomedicine course, the students Ragad Al Ali and Abdullah Al Harrasi. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Fine, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm very happy to have you guys. Now, to start, Abdullah, I'd like to ask you, can you give us a general idea about nanomedicine?
Yeah. Nanomedicine is the field of interested in using nanoparticles to diagnose and treat patients. Through the last decade, nanomedicine studies and investment has been grown significantly because of the positive results that have been shown in researches. The nanoparticles are very tiny particles that could not be seen by the naked eye, and also cannot be seen with any regular microscope. It only can be utilized and manipulated by special labs. Okay, those nanoparticles are maybe injected or maybe taken orally inside the body, and they have many functions, especially in the genetic role and the cellular field. I'll give you an example of how we used to apply nanomedicine to treat some cancer patients. So there was a device which we call HIFU, and that device used an injected nanoparticles, and then they point at those nanoparticles ultrasound waves. So those ultrasound waves will heat up the tissue by using those nanoparticles that was injected, and that's how the cancer will die.
What a fascinating field. Now, continuing on that, Ragad, I'd like to ask you, what were the covered topics during the course?
Okay, so since the course was about the clinical translation and commercialization of nanomedicine, so it's about like how to process a research idea into like the labs and then clinics, and then afterwards like how to profit from it. So we covered a lot of topics that were about the preclinical and like the clinical studies, as well how to like build a business and like ask for a fund and secure like an investment, and how to like file for a patent. As well, like we took like few classes that were more like, you know, clinical based and like purely focused on like nanomedicine itself.
Brilliant. And I know that in this field there's a lot of theory and practice blended together. So Ragad, I'd like to ask you again, could you tell us a little bit about the different parts, the different components, the theoretical and the practical? And can you tell us how they blended together?
So for the theoretical part, is like just the material that I just mentioned about how to like commercialize like a novel device or drug that you'd like come up with. But for the practical part that we did on the last day, it was like kind of like we applied the knowledge that we learned by doing an elevator pitch about a medical nanotechnology device of our choice. It was like followed like, you know how Shark Tank is, so it followed that theme, and like it, you know, we'd be asking for a fund. So just give us like an idea of how it works in the real world. So that's it. Yeah.
So you guys are clearly very passionate about this field, so I imagine you guys are very, it was a very exciting and very practical experience. Now, Abdullah, moving on to you, how would you describe the experience of participating in this?
Well, being a part of Oxford University was very amazing and was very profitable actually. Being around those professors and those intelligent students from around the world was a great opportunity that may never repeat again, or inshallah it may repeat. And being in the city of Oxford and see how the museums and the city itself is consist, I think, of 34 colleges of Oxford, and the Bodleian Library, which are very beautiful library. You can see all that ancient books and all those informations freely and whenever you want.
So it's clear that you guys have a lot of knowledge on this topic, but Abdullah, I'm sure that there is always more chance for growth. So in which areas did your knowledge increase during this experience?
Well, as we are interested, me and Ragad, in researches, they give us topics about how to do a clinical and preclinical tests, talking about how we use the preclinical and clinical tests. In the preclinical, we apply the nanomedicine particles in vivo first, and vivo is a culture of cells, and we monitor how the cells will react to that nanoparticle. After that, we apply the nanoparticles in vitro, which are animal basically, and we see how the animal will also act to those nanoparticles and is it harmful for it. And after that, we apply the results that we have to the human body in the clinical fields. In the clinical field or in clinical test, we will have 3 stages, and in every stage we will increase the sample size or the patient that we will apply the test for. So if we reach stage 3, that means the drug or those nanoparticles that we want to treat the patient with are safe and can move to real life.
Well, it sounds like something out of sci-fi. It's very futuristic. Now, Ragad, moving on to you, what are your plans to further develop your skills in this field?
So since in our last day we did like the elevator pitch, which was about like an existing idea that was like an existing like nanotechnology device that was still in its like preclinical phase, and that was about like the application of like nanoparticles and engineering choices. So that's like definitely an area that I'm like want to like invest more time into and look into further. And it's true like the course was like advanced, but we were provided with like insight and like information that would definitely like benefit us in the near future about how to like commercialize and like clinically translate a novel device or like a drug that we'd like come up with.
It was very innovative. And now I also want to ask you about how you value the constant support provided by the Arabian Gulf University's academic and administrative authorities towards developing students such as yourselves' skills.
I mean, I'd really like appreciate it. I'm so thankful for it. And I'd really appreciate these opportunities that they provided us. I mean, they allowed us to grow not only like academically, but also have like a personal growth. And I like how they're pushing us to strive in our fields. I know it sounds very cliche, but I know they're trying to like make us like be the best at it. And I mean, that's generally how I feel about it, yeah.
Brilliant. And Abdullah, how do you value the Arabian Gulf University's cooperation with international counterparts to provide students with required knowledge and training?
Well, since the beginning of Arabian Gulf University, the university stepped to the best interest of the student and to give the community the best doctor they can. And for that, the university communicate with many international universities and doctors. We have many doctors from out the Arabian Gulf and from out the Middle East that are highly intelligent in their fields. They also contacted with many hospitals. We have many students that they take the internship outside of Bahrain and outside of Asia, okay, and they are totally funded by the university. So in this field, I think the university had a great job, and I wish they continue in that.
Brilliant. And now before we conclude, I'd like to ask you both, is there anything you'd like to add, or is there any advice that you guys would like to give to students hoping to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think to be successful, you have to start from the road of success. And to do that, you have to plan, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be patient. You have to invest in your strong points, and you have to improve what you're weak at. And yeah, that's my advice for my colleagues.
I'd say just grasp every opportunity that comes your way and just go for it, even if it means like stepping out of your comfort zone. Because with these opportunities, they come with like experiences that will help like shape you and definitely like benefit you in one way or another like in the future. Yeah.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you guys, I wish you guys really the best going forward, because it seems like you have a really promising start. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks for having us.
Viewers, stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more on Bahrain Now. Young Inspirers is a creative initiative that aims to provide children with the required knowledge regarding the importance of sustainable development goals in cooperation with both public and private sectors institutions. To talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined here in the studio by the Supervisor and Volunteer at Young Inspirers Initiative, Hawa Ali, as well as two volunteers at the initiative, Eman Hassan and Nawraa Madan. So I'd like to start by asking about the establishment of this initiative.
First of all, may peace be upon you. I would like to thank you personally and on behalf of my team for having us here today. And to answer your question, I would start with the Inspires team. The Inspires team was founded with the idea of attracting the unknown promising energies from all over Bahrain who had not previously found a place to be in. Volunteering today attracts a specific age group, especially young people, within a criteria that may limit young people volunteering. So the initiative came to break this idea by attracting and accepting everyone. Whether you have a skill or not, we provide you the space, we accept you, we qualify you to be a person who's capable of giving and benefiting your own society. Here we are today and we can make a change even if we don't have the financial capabilities or the space, such as the location, are not available. We can still make a change. And we can also achieve sustainability through any age group, through any person who's present in our society. Even if I was 7 years old, I could be an accomplished person, I could advance, achieve, teach, and even anything.
Brilliant, very positive energy that I'm getting from this. I like it. So Hawa, I'd like to ask you, what are the main goals that the initiative aims to achieve?
Actually, in Inspire team, we are working to make awareness about the SDGs goals for the volunteers, our volunteers, and also through them after in the second edition. And also we are planning to be a part of Bahrain Vision 2030.
What I would say that we accomplished, starting by doing workshops for the volunteers that were prepared by well-educated people for the group age of between 15 and 18. Moving on, what made the first edition successful was that we were cooperated with around 48 official organizations, and we ended it with 44 events, along with more than 80 volunteers that were included throughout the whole event, and with the advisors of 8 people and supervisors of 20.
Brilliant. So, I mean, you guys have achieved quite a lot. Now, Hawa, I'd like to ask you, how does the second launch differentiate from the first edition?
And the first edition actually was focused to build the basic skills for the volunteers, and also define how we will work with this age, and also how we will work with the parents, fears of the parents. That's in the first edition in general, and now in the second edition, we are planning to give them how they work. How the volunteer, how will do it, what they learn, they will work on and make it true, the skills which we are building, and also going through the established sustainability development, and what the meaning of it. That was planning in the second edition, and yeah, we have a lot of programs to do it in the second edition.
Brilliant. I really like seeing how you guys really seem to build from the ground up, basically, and get a lot of involvement going on, because I always feel like active involvement, volunteering, and all of that, that's the best way to really let a message sink in, and you guys have a great message to be sending. Now, to Nawraa and Eman, can you guys tell us a little bit more about your experiences and how you convey them to your fellow members?
Sure. My experience was so special to me, as it is rare for us to find a national initiative in Bahrain that embrace young people and give them all the capabilities they need. I'm a volunteer in the Inspires team in the second edition, and it helped me a lot in refining my personality and finding myself. Now today, I'm a supervisor on the Golden Inspires program, And I always feel overwhelmed whenever I see the children are up on stage, progressing and applying all the pieces of advice they receive. And I would highlight the importance of involving this age group in the voluntary work because of the progress I see and how they take those older than them as a role model and a source of inspiration.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
And I continue with my friend Eman. I'm Nawraa Madan from the first edition. What I saw that made the initiative so successful when I saw that I'm not the only one who's actually volunteering in this initiative. My whole family and my mother is a supervisor in the organization, and my little brother, he's 13 years old. He's a member of the Golden Inspire of the team.
Brilliant, so it's a very cohesive initiative.
Indeed.
Now, Nawraa, I'd also like to ask you, how do you value the constant support provided by the Ministry of Youth Affairs as well as other local institutions?
By simple gifts or an official certificate from the initiative, and including their name along with our initiative logo.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And to end, Eman, what message do you have for the young people of Bahrain?
This message is to all young people who's watching me. I would say that it takes courage to grow and be who you really are. I encourage, advise, and push every one of you, each one of you, to try and get involved in the voluntary work, as I guarantee you that you'll find yourself and you'll know where to devote your energy in something that would benefit everyone, not just you. And I would like to make you remember that you're the hope of our future. So be the change.
Brilliant. And would you guys like to add anything else before we conclude?
I think
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more on Bahrain Now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests for joining us tonight, and another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. As always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love to hear from you. This was Khalid Hijris, and until next time, good night and God bless.